Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, Wakwakwadah, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. His brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Psalm 37, verse 16. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. So, Today, we're going to be going into this whole thing about wealth and riches and stuff like that, and basically how, of course, we all need money to live because, that's how this society and world works. But to something to, I guess, remember is that it's not everything. Actually, let me get that because it's always when it's always at the not even at the last minute, but it's always stuff like this when it happened where I remember the verse afterwards. But anyway, 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveteth after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Basically, making money your number one priority, making money the object of your obsession or whatever the freak you want to call it, or your primary goal, that's where the wickedness, that's where the evil is, where people say, okay, well, I'm just going to abandon everything else, I'm going to abandon YAHAWAH so I can get money, when actually then you get another precept to support that. And I didn't even go on that one yet. But Luke chapter 12 verse, I honestly kind of feel like I should have gotten that. But Luke chapter 12 verse 20, but Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee, then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? It's basically with this is that there was a rich man. There's a context, but in previous verses, where he thought, oh yeah, I'm just gonna live easily, live properly, live all this stuff X, Y, and Z, but rather, and because my money's gonna carry me through everything and anything. But then he found out, as it says in verse 20. Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. And that's the thing where the Lord can basically take someone's life at the drop of a hat immediately. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can remember that precept. It was it is in Proverbs. I know it's different in Proverbs. Is it 12? I don't think it's 12. Bear with me one moment. I'm trying to remember. Okay, give me a moment. I hate when this happens. Oh, it is 12. It's 20. It's 20. Okay. So, Proverbs 20 verse 27. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Basically, man's life is as easy as blowing out a candle to YAHAWAH. So the same way that we're able to blow out a candle to extinguish a flame, that's the same way that the Lord can kill us. That's how easy it is for YAHAWAH to kill us and stuff like that. All right. Well, as a result of that, we have to be wary, be cautious, and not go after the wrong things. Because especially, that's the thing where with money, when it comes to money, people might say, oh yeah, I'm going to go live for money, I'm going to go do this, that, and the third. But the issue with that is, as you're going for that, that's not sustainable. Even though it seems like it's sustainable, oh, you're going to have money, you're going to be able to buy all the stuff you need to. But then, as soon as you accumulate all that wealth, you just die from a heart attack, you die from a car accident, like any random things where the Lord just takes your life out at that easily. All right, even regardless of all the money, because the money can't protect you or help you from death from YAHAWAH more specifically. Okay, now. So, okay, even if you make all the safety precautions, you have the safest car, you have 1 million security guards and all that stuff, like none of that stuff is going to save you, because the Lord basically can neg all that. All right. I read this. I read this. Okay, so where was that one verse that I had? Psalms 37 verse 16, a little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many. Basically, that it is better. Your value to Yahawashi is greater if you are righteous rather than if you have material things. Having material things does not give you any value. All right, that's kind of reminds me of something else I remembered, but having material things that's like, because it's like, for I guess I always go back to this, but like, for example, a parent doesn't love their child more. Okay, well maybe that's not a good example, but whatever, you get the point. The thing is that certain things, you don't expect, like, let's say a pet, you don't love that pet more because it has money to give you and stuff like that. You love it because of that emotional bond you have, which again isn't probably the best example, but who cares? I'm just trying to prove a point here. I'm just trying to illustrate a point, paint a picture for you. Okay, so continuing on, Mark chapter 12 verse 44. For all they did cast in of their no, hold on, let me go back. Mark chapter 12 verse 42. And there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which make a farthing. And he called unto him his disciples, and saith unto them, Verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. For they all did cast in of their abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living. Basically, the poor widow had barely had anything, but yet she didn't give stuff that she was able to give, because she needed basically all the money that she could get. But comparatively, all the other rich people, they gave, say, oh yeah, I have 100 to spare, I have a 20 to spare, I have this to spare, and they gave all that they didn't need. But the poor widow had given stuff that she actually, like, she legitimately, genuinely needed it, like that 5 or whatever that she, just as a parallel for her living. She didn't give extra. All right, so as a result of that, that's where Yahawashi said that it's like, if you're investing in Yahawashi, quote unquote investing, or giving to Yahawashi, and you're giving them everything you have, rather than, oh yeah, I have some extra for this, so let me just give any extra things and stuff like that. You're actually giving your actual core, your essence to Yahawashi, of what you of your necessities. That's the thing, the necessity. Proverbs 13 verse 7. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. Basically, for us, we are, well, not for us, Yahawadah is off for us, or for me more specifically, speaking for myself, being rich in the spirit. That's what we're aiming to do, aiming for. Okay, are we pleasing to Yahawashi? Are we getting in the are we getting on the right side of Yahawashi? Are we pleasing Yahawashi? Are we doing the right things that say, okay, what the Lord is proud of us and whatnot? Or are we just being wicked and going down the wrong path, being reckless and whatnot? All right, something to remember and to take note of. All right, where you're making yourself rich through, let me actually get the precept to that. Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Where that's the thing where you're making yourself rich, but have nothing. You're putting most of your time in YAHAWASHI, whereas a result of that, you're rich in the spirit, but you're poor in the flesh. And then there is that maketh himself poor, yet have great riches. Oh, Slakia, let me rephrase that. Making himself rich is making himself rich in the flesh, as in he has a lot of money, but he has nothing, because all that carnal wealth means nothing to you. So as a result of that, you're going to be destroyed. And then the other side of it is making himself poor, as in you're investing all your time for Yahawadah, and then as a result, okay, now I have great riches. Now I have this invested for Yahawadah. This is for the Lord. This is for the Lord. Okay, this is for the Lord. So as a result of that, I don't need to worry about any of that extra stuff. So now the Lord has blessed me with spiritual riches rather than carnal. All right. Now, Matthew chapter 19, verse 23. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, the rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And that was basically the thing where, because the rich, they don't want to give up their wealth, they don't want to give up their money. All right, then it's like, okay, well, if the Lord said, surrender all that money you have and follow me, then if Yahushua had said, give up all your money and then wait for the kingdom, are you gonna give up all your money? You're gonna give your accumulated wealth to the poor? Well, a lot of people probably would just say no, because they don't want to part with their money. So as a result of that, that's something to make note of. Like, you can't be worried about this carnal wealth, but the spiritual wealth. Okay, Matthew 5 verse 3: Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Okay, the poor physically, they are blessed in spirit, because in the spirit that they have all the spiritual wealth. Okay, spiritual wealth, that's what it is. And they have the kingdom. They're going to be blessed in the kingdom. Now finally, Revelation chapter 2 verse 9, I know that works in tribulation and poverty. It says poverty, and that's basically that been the theme of this entire lesson, where we are in poverty but we are rich. And that's the thing where spiritually we're rich, carnally we are not rich. All right, so let me start over. Revelation chapter 2 verse 9, I know that works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them that say they are J's and are not, but the synagogue of Satan. So something to take note of. I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakwak, Ba'ash, double honor to the elders and apostles, great milestone of Bad, and Shalom.